Hi, today I'm going to be having a look at the Nexus 7 tablet by Google. So, quite a lot of reviews I've seen have actually focused on how fast the tablet is, quite a lot of benchmarks, but I don't really think that demonstrates its real life usage like qualities. So for this one I'm going to actually look at what it's like. So if I went out and bought this today, what would it be like to use? So I'll just do a quick run through of what it looks like. The tablet, it's a nice weight, although the bezel, if you hold it in landscape and you're like watching a movie for like an hour or so, it does start to dig into your hands a bit. And so you can just see it there at the top. There is the camera. Now, as this tablet's quite symmetrical, I have found myself a few times madly looking for the unlock button there. I'm like, why isn't it there? And I've got to go back up, find the camera, and then push it. And there it is unlocked. And also, I think what Google could have done better is, there's the unlock button, and there's the volume rocker. Now, they're pretty close together, and it's quite easy, because as you can see, the volume rocker doesn't have a segment in the middle, it's just a whole button, so I end up pressing the lock button when I'm like subconsciously trying to press the down volume button, which is quite annoying. Going round the top, we've got, that is the top. Nice smooth. Down the side, that's the buttons, the lock, and volume rocker. Back you've got the NEXUS logo and the speaker, which is recessed quite a lot with the little asus logo. It's nice to grip, no creaking. Yeah, you can't hear any creaking. And on the bottom you've got the micro USB port and your headphone jack. Now I actually think the micro USB looks better than the lightning adapter. But enough of that, let's get into the actual tablet itself. So with Jelly Bean, quite a lot is made of the widgets, which would be all good, but to actually use them you've got to unlock your phones. If I had a password or something, it'd be a lot harder to do than I actually would want it to be. So it's not as quick as you would think. It's good in some ways, but I suppose the locks, like if you're using Gmail or something, you wouldn't want whoever randomly picked up your tablet to start reading your emails. So this brings me nicely onto the buttons. At first, I quite like it actually, because suppose with the Samsung S3, you've got the capacitive buttons on the bottom, and to actually get to the multitasking, it's so much simpler on the NEXUS, which I'll just show you. Say I want to multitask, I just press that button once. I'd have to hold down the menu button on the Samsung for at least a second to do the same thing. So here's multitasking, and you just simply swipe across, and I actually just closed the task killer, which I don't even think is needed on Jelly Bean. It works that fast. So you've got your menu button, your back button, and your multitasking button. And I'm not sure if I like it or not, when you pick a portrait, the menu button goes to the bottom, which in some ways is faster, but I'd quite like to just be able to always, say I'm holding it in landscape, I want to just know there's a button there I can push instead of having to reach across and fumble for that one. But I suppose that's a major downside. It is quite, some people find that good. So we're on the home screen now, and I've just got the clock widget, the YouTube widget, and a game. I've not got that much on it. And then I've got my quick settings, which isn't even needed anymore, because so if you pull this left side down, if I can see it, this is your notifications of what's happened. So this is telling me that Writer's just successfully installed. I got it from the Play Store, and there it is. It's doing pretty well actually. And then if you go on the right side, you bring up your quick settings. So I'll just bring that a bit closer to the camera. So it's saying I'm using it. There's a Wi-Fi. Then it's got the rotate button to stop it rotating. So there, it doesn't rotate, and now it does. It rotates pretty snappily. Then you've got also your quick button, just your battery, and it's quite useful. It shows you what's used your battery, so if you've got a task that's killing it, then you can just find the rogue app and delete it pretty easily. Let's just do a quick speed test. So we'll load up the identical game on the Samsung and the NEXUS to just compare speeds. So if you own a NEXUS, or just see, because these are both running Jelly Bean, although Samsung has got touchers on top, so we'll see the difference. I'll try and touch them at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Which loads first? The NEXUS is quite a clear winner there. speaking of gaming performance wise, it handles graphics really well, and along with the gaming, you can also link your PlayStation controller with it, so you can. This helps, like especially if you're playing any of the zombie killing games. You can link your PlayStation with it, so you've got six-axis controller, and you can play PlayStation. So, or you can not play PlayStation. You can use your controller instead of faffing about trying to touch screen and move it around. So we'll just have a quick look at this scrolling. So here's a widget, here's a YouTube widget, and let's click on the video to watch. I think Timo Glock's pretty cool. Let's scroll it, sorry, let's go back. It's got away again. I know it's there. Loading wise, it's pretty quick. It's pretty good to buffer, but although the YouTube app does have a strange opinion just bringing up the gadget show all the time on its featured videos. I'm not sure why. It just decides to bring up the gadget show. So let's search one of my videos. And put it into portrait. So you can see it does load pretty fast. This is only standard definition, and here you can take it back, and then if you scroll down, you can look at the description, which is up here. Which I did miss it a few times, like the video, and then also, which I quite like, you could add comments live. I know it's pretty mainstream now, but I do quite like that a lot. So let's find something just to illustrate the speed of the scrolling. Let's search for something on Google. NEXUS 7. We'll see how accurate it is. I have found Google pretty accurate over the years, over this time I've used it. And as you can see, it does smooth, it follows my finger quite well. So let's have a look at it on the actual Play Store. This is on Google Chrome, so it's like a nice little Google Chrome family. So zooming in, it only begins to register you've moved it out. It registers your fingers pretty fast actually. And here it is. Here's the scrolling. I find it's pretty fast actually. It's not as fast as iOS, but I guess this is more graphically intensive, so that's why. Battery life, it holds up pretty well. It's not the best, but it can easily last a day, especially with Wi-Fi on. And if we go into the settings, here's all the settings, and we'll just have a look at about the tablet. And you probably know this already. If you keep tapping down on the Android version, you get a nice little jelly bean, and then if you keep tapping that, you'll get a surprise. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep it a surprise if you want to go ahead and do that. So overall, it's a nice tablet. For me, I wouldn't buy an iPad mini. I'd just go buy this instead. It looks good. It's nice and sturdy. It doesn't warm up in your hand, which is a bonus because my Samsung it does begin to warm up quite a lot because it's just got a ridiculously thin back cover. But it's nice and sturdy back cover, and I've seen reviews where it says the tablet's muted when you put it on the desk, but I don't find that to be too much of a problem. It's still plenty loud enough to hear, and I'll be posting a impressions video in the coming weeks as I please with it more. But overall, I don't see why you'd choose any other tablet other than this. So if you got any questions about it or what tablet do you use, just post them below.